You guys. I don't even know where to start with this one because my heart is still in pieces after seeing it. Before we get into all the details, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a moment of this beautiful, emotional journey between Dylan Wang and Shen Yue, especially after everything they've been through lately. So, picture this. It's been weeks since Dylan was discharged from the hospital. Weeks since we last saw him in public. Fans have been worried sick, replaying old interviews, scrolling through social media, looking for any small sign that he was okay. And then, last night happened. Dylan Wang, looking a little thinner but still carrying that quiet strength, walked into the public eye again. But he wasn't alone. He was with Shen Yue. And I swear to you, the moment they appeared together, it felt like the air shifted. Now, if you've been following their story, and I know you have, you'll understand why this is such a huge deal. Dylan's hospitalization was a shock to everyone. One moment he was in the middle of his hectic filming schedule, giving interviews, smiling for fans, and the next, he was suddenly rushed to the hospital after collapsing from exhaustion. It was scary. Too scary. And through it all, Shen Yue was there, quietly, behind the scenes, making sure he was taken care of. That's why this first public appearance together hits differently. Because it's not just about seeing Dylan again. It's about seeing him with her, the person who stayed by his side through the worst of it. The sighting happened at a small community center in Beijing, where a charity event was being held for children's education. People weren't expecting Dylan to show up, he wasn't on the guest list. And honestly, that was probably the point. He didn't come for publicity. He came because he wanted to, because it mattered to him. Fans who were there said it started quietly. The event was halfway through when a black SUV pulled up outside. The door opened, and out stepped Shen Yue first. She looked radiant but understated, wearing a simple cream sweater and jeans, her hair loose around her shoulders. She smiled warmly at the volunteers, thanked them, and then turned back toward the SUV. And then Dylan appeared. I kid you not, the small crowd went completely silent for a moment before the whispers started. He was wearing a black coat over a gray hoodie, sunglasses shielding his eyes from the early evening light. You could see right away he was still recovering, he moved a little slower, and his frame looked slimmer. But there was something so peaceful about him. Like he was just happy to be there. The part that really got me? When he stepped forward, Shen Yue immediately reached for his arm, not in a dramatic, attention-grabbing way, but in that gentle, natural way you do when you're making sure someone's okay. And Dylan, without even looking, adjusted his pace to match hers. They didn't have to say anything. That single gesture said everything. Of course, people started taking photos, and within minutes, the internet was flooded with them. But honestly, what touched me most wasn't even the pictures, it was the short video a fan posted. In it, you can see Dylan greeting the children at the event. He kneels down to talk to one little boy, smiling as the kid shows him a drawing. Shen Yue stands just behind him, watching with this look that I swear could melt the iciest heart. You can see the pride in her eyes, like she's just so happy to see him up and interacting with people again. And then, this is where I completely lost it, as they were leaving, Dylan reached for her hand. Not because cameras were flashing, not because they were trying to make a statement, but because he wanted to. And the way she looked at him in that moment? You guys, it was pure love. Now, I know what some people might be thinking, okay, it's cute, but why is it such a big deal? Let me tell you why. This isn't just a random celebrity couple sighting. This is the first time Dylan has been seen in public since leaving the hospital. And instead of making it a solo "I'm fine" appearance, he chose to share that moment with Shen Yue. That tells us something. It tells us that she's not just part of his private life, she's part of his healing. She's part of the reason he's back on his feet. And whether you're a hardcore shipper or just a casual fan, you have to admit, that's powerful. Social media has been absolutely exploding since the sighting. One fan account posted side-by-side photos, one of Dylan from before his hospitalization, and one from last night, with the caption, "He's still our Dylan, but now he's stronger." Another fan commented, "Shen Yue didn't just take care of him, she walked him back into the world." And I think that perfectly sums it up. Even the media coverage has been surprisingly respectful. Most outlets have focused on the charity aspect of the event, noting how both Dylan and Shen Yue spent time with the kids and avoided the usual red carpet fanfare. But of course, the headlines are all variations of Dylan. Wang appears in public for the first time after hospitalization, Shen Yue by his side. Because let's be real, that's what everyone's talking about. And here's the thing, I genuinely think this moment will be remembered by fans for years to come. Not because it was flashy or scandalous, but because it was so real. This wasn't a scripted drama scene. There were no perfect lighting setups, no PR coordinated poses. Just two people, quietly supporting each other through something hard, and then showing up, together, when they were ready. If you zoom out and look at their journey over the years, it's almost poetic. From strangers to co-stars, from co-stars to friends, from friends to, well, whatever they are now, and I think we all know what that is. They've been through the highs and lows of fame together. And now they've been through something even more personal, illness, recovery, and the slow, steady return to normal life. Little interactions like that are the reason why fans are losing their minds right now. It's not just about the fact that he's back, it's about how he's back. More present. More connected. And clearly so grateful to have her by his side. I think for a lot of us, this moment feels personal because we've been emotionally invested in them for so long. We've seen the behind-the-scenes clips where Dylan can't help but make Shen Yue laugh, the interviews where she talks about his stubborn streak, the bloopers where they fall into each other's arms and forget the cameras are rolling. And over the years, those little glimpses became part of our collective memory. And speaking of normal, I think that's what really stood out to me last night. For all the attention they got, Dylan and Shen Yue acted like any other couple out supporting a cause they care about. They didn't rush to the cameras, they didn't pose for extra photos. They just existed. Together. And maybe that's the most beautiful thing of all. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I'm already imagining what comes next. Will they start appearing together more often? Will we get more glimpses into their everyday life? Will there be more charity events, maybe even joint projects? Because if last night was any indication, they have this incredible ability to light up a room just by being in it together. But for now, I think the most important thing is that Dylan is out, he's smiling, and he's clearly surrounded by love, from Shen Yue, from his friends, from his fans. And honestly, after the scare we all went through when he was hospitalized, that's the only update we really needed. So here's to Dylan's recovery. Here's to Shen Yue's unwavering support. And here's to the quiet, powerful moments that mean so much more than any staged photo ever could. Because sometimes, it's not the red carpets or the awards shows that stay with you, it's the image of two people walking into a room together, hand in hand, after a storm, and knowing that whatever comes next, they'll face it side by side.